Next, we are going to see the topic switching. So first, what is switching? Switching is a technique of transferring the information from one computer network to the another computer. So this is switching. The switching is achieved by means of switches. A switched network consists of a series of interlinked nodes called switches. What is a switched network? A switched network will be having a series of interlinked nodes called switches. Actually, a switch is a device capable of creating temporary connection between two or more devices connected to a switch. Okay, what is switch? Switch are devices capable of creating temporary connection. Okay, it will create a temporary connection between two or more devices linked to the switch. In switched network, some of the nodes are connected to the end system. So end system is computers or telephones, and others are used only for routing. So this is an example of switched network. This is an example of switched network, and here A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. These are the end systems. These are the end system, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the switches. Okay, these are the switches. So actually, what is switching? Switching is a technique of transferring the information from one computer network to another computer network. Okay, and what is switch? Switch is a device capable of creating temporary connection between two or more devices linked to the switch. There are three methods of switching, that is circuit switching, packet switching, and message switching. Okay, how many types of switching are there? There are three types of switching, that is circuit switching, packet switching, and message switching. But we are using the circuit switching and packet switching is widely used, and mostly this message switching is not in use. Mostly packet switching is to combine datagram networks and virtual circuit networks. There are two types in this packet switching. That is, one is datagram networks, another one is virtual circuit networks. So networks route the first packet based on datagram addressing idea, but then create a virtual circuit for the rest of the packets coming from the same source and going to the same destination. In message switching, each switch stores the whole message and forward it to the next switch. What is message switching? In message switching, each switch will be storing the whole message and it will forward it to the next switch. Okay, first we are going to see the circuit switched network. The circuit switched network, it will consist of a set of switches connected by physical link. That point is important. It is connected by, in circuit switched network, the switches are connected by physical links. A connection between two stations is a dedicated path made of one or more links. A connection between two stations. If you are having two stations and that connection between that two stations is a dedicated path, and you may have one or more than one link, but each connection will be using only one dedicated channel on a link. Okay, between two devices we'll be having one or more link, and each connection will be using only one link of each, only one channel of each link. The link is normally divided into channels by FDM or TDM. How you will be dividing the link into channels? The link is divided into n channels by using either frequency division multiplexing or time division multiplexing. This is an example of circuit switched network. So these are the switches. This yellow rectangular boxes, it is nothing but the switches. Okay, and this is node A and this is node M. If you want to send any information from node A to node M, then you need a dedicated path. Before transferring data, you have to create one dedicated path. And when you check each of these switches, this is switch 1, switch 2, switch 3, and switch 4. Each switch is having links, and the links is having channels, and these channels are multiplex. This triangular symbol, it is nothing, the symbol of multiplexer. Okay, multiplexing, or it indicates the multiplexing operation. Okay, the channels are multiplexed. Now in the circuit switching, there are 3 phases. One is connection establishment, data transfer, and connection release. Or in other words, we can say it as setup phase, data transfer phase, and tear down phase. Okay, so that is, first you have to establish a connection, then you have to transfer the data, then after transferring the data, you have to release that connection. Okay, now here you are having 2 devices. One is device A and device B, and you're having 2 switches. Okay, so if you want to send any data in circuit switching, first you have to establish one connection. After establishing the connection, you have to transfer the data. After transferring the data, disconnecting. So the circuit switching, we are using it in our telephone network. So you assume that you are calling your friend through your ordinary telephone, land phone. What you will be doing? First, you will be dialing the number of your friend. So you know that from your home, you will be having one line to the junction box. From the junction box, you will be having one line to the local exchange. From the local exchange to regional exchange, regional exchange to central exchange. Okay, this is a link what you're having for your land phone. Similarly, your friend will be also having the same. When you are dialing the number, the link is created from your home to the junction box to your local exchange to the regional exchange, and regional exchange to the central exchange. From the central exchange, the link will be created to the regional exchange of your friend. Then from the regional exchange to the local exchange of your friend's phone, then directly to the junction box of your junction box in which your friend's phone is connected. From that link will be going to your friend's telephone number. So first a connection is established. What you are doing? First you are establishing a connection. Then your friend will lift the phone and you both will talk. That is data transfer. So after transferring the data or after talking, what you will do? Finally, you will end the call. So you will place the receiver on the phone. That is something called connection release or disconnect. So this is the 3 phases of your what? 3 phases of your circuit switching. That is connection establishment, data transfer, and connection release. Okay, connection establishment, data transfer, and connection release. Now we are going to see the efficiency of circuit switching. So when you are coming into this circuit switching, the efficiency is less. Why? Because we are using dedicated line. then most of the resources are wasted. So because we are not using the phone always, but the resource is allocated you, or it is dedicated for you. Okay. Next one is delay. Here the delay is less. When you are coming to the delay is less. And where you are using this switching, circuit switching is used in telephone network. Okay. So now we have studied the circuit switching. Next one is packet switching. In packet switching, you're having two things. One is datagram network, another one is virtual circuit network. Next important thing is the circuit switching. It will be occurring only in physical layer. Where the circuit switching will be occurring, it will be occurring only in the physical layer. And in the circuit switching, you are not going for any packetization. Okay, you are not converting the data into packets in the circuit switching. Now we are coming into the datagram network. Okay, in datagram network, you are dividing the data into small units called datagram. In datagram network, what you are doing, you are dividing the data into small units called datagram. The size of the data may be fixed in size or variable in size. Size may be fixed or variable depending upon the protocol what you are using. Depending upon the protocol, the size may be a fixed one or variable one. In packet switching, no resource allocation is done. But in the case of circuit switching, before sending some data, resource must be allocated. But in the case of packet switching, there is no resource allocation. Okay, so you are not reserving any bandwidth. But if you want, resource can be allocated on demand. Either in it will be in first come first serve basis. Now when a switch is receiving a packet, and if it is processing the packet, in the meanwhile, if some other packet is coming, it has to wait until the packet what it is processing is completed. Till then, the newly arrived packet has to wait, irrespective of the source and destination, from where maybe it may come, or it can go wherever, but it has to wait. Okay. In datagram network, each packet is treated independently. Okay. In datagram network, each packet is treated independently of all others. Now I am showing an example of a datagram network. This is a datagram network. So this A, X, these two are the end systems. These are the end systems, and these are the switches. So here what you are doing is you are dividing the data into 4 units. The name of that unit is datagram. So 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. And each datagram is choosing different paths. Each datagram is choosing different path, and it is arriving at the destination. It is arriving at the destination, and in the destination it may be out of order. In destination it may be out of order. In the case of datagram approach, there is a possibility of the lost frame. Why? Because if some switch is processing some other data, if the particular datagram will pass through the same switch, then it will be unable to serve that particular datagram. So there is a possibility of the particular datagram to it may be lost. Okay, so this out of order problem, and if any datagram it is lost, these problems will be set right by the upper layer protocols. Okay, the upper layer protocols will set right all these things. Usually in this datagram approach, the packets will be coming out of order only, but the upper layer protocols will set right all these things. It will rearrange. Okay. This datagram networks are connectionless networks, because before sending data, there is no need to establish any connection. Next one, routing table. So each switch, it will maintain one table called the routing table. It is a dynamic one and it is updated periodically. It is a dynamic one and it is updated periodically. So it will be having two information. One is a destination address and next one is the output port. What are the information it will be having? It will be having the information about the destination address as well as the output port. Now, destination address. Every packet in a datagram network carries a header. What is header? The additional information what you are adding with the data is called header. If you are putting that additional information in the front of the data, then it is called header. And if you are adding that particular information to the back of the data, it is called a trailer. So in this destination address, in this header of this datagram, what you will be having is the source address and destination address. Okay, whenever a switch receives the packet, it will check the destination address and it will route to the particular destination. The efficiency of the datagram network is better than that of a circuit switch network, because here resources is not allocated. If allocated, it is allocated only on demand. If a source sends a packet and there is a delay of few minutes before another packet can be sent, the resources can be reallocated during these minutes for other packets from other resources. So its efficiency is high. Now, when you're coming to the delay, the total delay is nothing but 3 into transmission time plus 3 into propagation time plus 2 into waiting time. So this is the transmission time. 1, 2, 3. You are sending data from A to B and you are having two intermediate switches. So the total delay is the 3 transmission times, that is 3 into transmission time, 2 waiting time and 3 propagation time. So this is a total delay. This datagram network is used in internet. Whereas circuit switch network is used, it is used in telephone network, and datagram network is used in the internet. Next one is virtual circuit network. So the virtual circuit network, it will be having the characteristics of both a circuit switched network and datagram network. Its important characteristics are, as in circuit switched network, there are setup and tear down phases. It is having setup and tear down phases. As in circuit switched network, resources can be allocated during setup phase or on demand. On demand is used in datagram network. So it is having that this virtual circuit network is having the characteristic of both circuit switched network and packet switched network. Next one is a data. As in datagram network, data are packetized. In virtual circuit network, data are packetized and each packet carries the address in the header. As in circuit switched network, all packets follow the same path. In virtual circuit network, all packets will be following the same path during the connection. A virtual circuit network is normally implemented in data link layer. Circuit switching is implemented in physical layer. the datagram network is implemented in network layer, and this virtual circuit network is implemented in data link layer. The example of virtual circuit network. This is an example of virtual circuit network. The network will be having the switches. It will allow the traffic from source to destination. The source and destination can be a packet, switch, bridge, or any device. Okay, this end system may be a switch, bridge, or any other device that is connected to the network. Now, addressing. In virtual circuit network, we are using two type of addressing. One is global addressing, another one is virtual circuit identifier. So the scope of this global addressing or global address, it is having international scope, but the scope of virtual circuit identifier is it is having the scope up to one switch to the next switch. What it will be having? It will be having the scope from one switch to the next switch. Okay. Similarly, when a virtual circuit, when a frame is coming to a switch, it will be carrying one virtual circuit identifier. While it is leaving the switch, that virtual circuit identifier will be changed. Here I am showing. This is a switch and one frame is coming and it is having a virtual circuit identifier of 14. When it is leaving the switch, it is having the virtual circuit identifier of 77. So what is the value? 77. Now, in this virtual circuit networks, there are three phases. There is three phases, that is setup phase, data transfer phase, and tear down phase. Similar to the circuit switching, here also you are having three phases. One is setup phase, data transfer phase, and tear down phase. In the setup phase, the source and destination use their global address to help the switches to make the table entries for connection. Okay. In the tear down phase, the source and destination inform the switches to delete the corresponding entry. So while the starting of the setup phase, the switching table, it will make the table entries depending upon the global address. In the tear down phase, what it will do means it will ask the switches to delete all the entry. Okay, it will ask the switches to delete all the entries. Now, first we are going to see the data transfer phase. So, to transfer a frame from source to destination, all switches need to have a table entry for this virtual circuit. So, this is a table of the switch. So, it is having 4 columns. So 2 columns for incoming and 2 columns for outgoing. And the 2 columns are port and VCI. Incoming port, incoming VCI, outgoing port and outgoing VCI. So by the help of this table, it will correctly transfer the information to the destination. Okay. Here, the process is creating a virtual circuit, not a permanent circuit or a real circuit between the source and destination. Now we are coming for the setup phase. So in setup phase, there is 2 phases. One is setup request phase and setup acknowledgement phase. How many phases we are having? We are having 2 phases. One is setup request phase and another one is setup acknowledgement phase. So here you are having 2 systems, system A and system B. If system A wants to send some information to system B, first it will send a setup request. So that frame will be coming to each switch. And during the setup phase, the switch will enter only the 3 columns of its switching table. It will enter the entries only for the 3 columns, that is input, incoming port, incoming VCI, and outgoing port, and it will not fill the outgoing VCI. It will not fill the outgoing VCI. Similarly, all the successive switches, that is switch 2 and switch 3, it will do the same. And this setup request frame will be reaching the destination or receiver. If that receiver is ready to receive information from node A, what it will do means it will send a setup acknowledgement frame. What it will be sending? It will be sending a setup acknowledgement frame. So please listen, when you see the switch, it is having, this is port 1, this is port 3. Similarly here, this is port 1, this is port 2. This is port 2, this is port 3. Okay. Now you assume that this B is ready to accept the frames from A. So what it will do means it will send the setup acknowledgement in reverse. It will send the setup acknowledgement in reverse. So first this column is filled by this VCI 77. Next, this VCI is outgoing VCI is filled by this incoming VCI. What is the incoming VCI here? 22. This 22 is filled here. Next, this outgoing VCI, this 66. This is filled by this incoming. So this 66 we are putting here. So the switching table entry gets completed. Now, whichever packets which are going for B, it will be having a VCI of 77. Okay. Now, tear down phase. In tear down phase, the source A will, after sending all the frames to B, it will send a special frame called tear down request. Tear down request means please end the connection. The system B will respond with a tear down confirmation frame. So after the tear down confirmation frame is obtained, all switches will delete the entries from delete the entries what it have entered during the setup request phase. Okay, so this is switching. So we have studied 3 types of switching: circuit switching, packet switching, and message switching. In packet switching, there are 2 types of switching. One is datagram network and another one is virtual circuit network. So the circuit switching is occurring in physical layer, datagram network is occurring in network layer, and virtual circuit switching, that is network switching, is occurring in data link layer. Okay.